Welcome to Robot News, where we bring you the 5 biggest news stories every day.
Purdue football remains on right track, despite lopsided loss in Music City Bowl. Auburn hammered the Boilermakers 6,314, but coach Jeff Brohms is still headed in the right direction. Nashville: this 49-point loss doesn't derail the progress. Yes, this program is moving forward. It didn't Friday. Both can be true at this juncture. But in the big picture, the Boilermakers remain on track one day to return to the city against a similar opponent and walk away with different emotions. And here's betting it won't be 6,314 or anything close to that margin. Purdue and coach Jeff Brohms are in the process of closing the gap. That gap looked wide throughout the sun-splashed afternoon inside Nissan Stadium as Auburn did anything and everything it wanted and when it wanted, in exposing the weaknesses and taking advantage of its strengths. It was embarrassing at times, seeing players out of position and others unable to make a play because the team they were chasing was just better. Shocking to some degree that the same team which throttled Ohio State could only come within 7 touchdowns of the Tigers. Purdue did allow the most points in a single game in program history Friday. It's okay to be disappointed by Friday's outcome, but don't lose sight of what's ahead. Pushing the program to back-to-back bowl appearances is an accomplishment in these parts. Going beyond the 6-win mark takes more than what we've seen the last 2 years. But the foundation is solid. The commitment remains strong. The fan base, which came to Nashville in droves, isn't going anywhere. Strides are being made, even though it didn't show Friday. We're not quite there yet, linebacker Marcus Bailey said. We have a lot of work to do in preparation for the offseason and going forward with our program. Last year's 76 record may have accelerated the movement forward to the outside world, but inside the football performance complex is a group of coaches who understand reality and the patience it takes to reach a consistent level. The deficiencies have been covered up by solid teaching and coaching, emphasizing fundamentals and hard work. However, those elements get trumped against a program like Auburn. There will be some soul-searching and second-guessing until spring practice starts, but a complete overhaul isn't necessary. When you lose bad, it's going to force you to refocus even more, figure out ways to get better, Brohms said. Behind closed doors, we know where we're deficient in certain areas. You try to mask it, disguise it, develop it. We've got to get better in a lot of areas. The Boilermakers remain in good hands. From the highest level at the university, athletic director Mike Babinski to Brohms, his coaching staff and support personnel, this program has the makings of continuing the upward trajectory. More talent is on the way, starting with the 2019 recruiting class. It's ranked in the top 25 and likely will add another key piece after the first of the year. There are weaknesses to improve and those will be addressed. This was never going to happen overnight, although the Boilermakers gave the impression it was transpiring quickly. There was always going to be a regression to the reality of what's inside this program. That took place Friday. I think we're on the right course, Brohms said. I think our guys have worked hard. We found ways to win to a certain degree right away, get those guys to believe that they can get it done. That's more than half the battle. But you still have to improve, get better, as a team. We have to improve as coaches, figure out what we can do with the guys we have, how we can develop them, get them better, how we can get young guys in there to push them and have competition. The beatdown delivered by the Tigers doesn't diminish what we've seen the last 26 games during Brohms' tenure and what we'll see in the future. Syracuse quarterback Eric Dungey played his final game for the number 20 Orange on Friday, carrying the team to a 34-18 win over number 16 West Virginia in the Camping World Bowl in Orlando. The senior was named the game's MVP after he completed 21 of 30 passes and threw for 303 yards, a touchdown, and 2 interceptions. He also set the program's career passing yards record with his winning performance. But in the backhand fourth and fairly even game, each team had the ball for about 30 minutes, and their offenses accumulated a little more than 400 total yards. Dungy helped secure the win with one brilliantly improvised play early in the fourth quarter. A field goal after halftime gave West Virginia a slim 15-14 lead early in the third, and another kick took it away from the Orange again later in the quarter to give the Mountaineers an 18-17 advantage. Dungy then opened the final quarter by connecting with Tristan Jackson for a 14-yard touchdown, but with the way this game was going, a 6-point lead might not have been enough to win. So with the ball a few minutes later, Dungy faced a collapsing pocket and was chased back almost 20 yards behind the line of scrimmage on 1st and 10 from West Virginia's 46-yard line. But amazingly, he got rid of it before being sacked, and Moneal caught the pass and took off through traffic for a 42-yard play. He landed on the Mountaineers' 4-yard line. The Orange scored on the next play with a 4-yard run from Jarvion Howard, but Dungy's heroics here might be the best play of the game. Syracuse finished the season at 103. Sears gets $4.4 billion bid to buy company out of bankruptcy from Lampert. An affiliate of Essel Investments, the hedge fund controlled by Sears Holdings chairman Eddie Lampert, has offered to buy the owner of Kmart and Sears stores out of bankruptcy. Transform Holdco LLC has submitted a bid for substantially all of the assets of Sears Holdings, including 425 stores, which it says is valued at $4.4 billion. The bid includes a $1.3 billion financing commitment from 3 financial institutions, according to an email statement. Transform said that if the bid is successful, the company that emerges from bankruptcy would employ up to 50,000 people. All bids to buy the company out of bankruptcy were due Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. A bid doesn't guarantee that Sears would be saved. The company and its advisors must determine by January 4th whether the bid is qualified. The bid came hours after Sears announced that it would close 80 more Sears and Kmart locations in late March. The long-embattled retailer, which filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection in October, had already announced the closing of 143 locations by the end of the year, and another 40 Sears and Kmart stores set to close in February 2019. Lampert made a $4.6 billion proposal to buy the company out of bankruptcy through Essel on December 6. The deal included 500 stores, 50,000 employees, the Kenmore appliance and Die Hard tool brands, key real estate, and the company's inventory and receivables. As of early Friday, there was no sign that Lampert had made the bid official. Sears faces the prospect of liquidating some assets if it doesn't find the investment it needs. Last week, for example, U.S. bankruptcy court judge Robert Rain allowed the beleaguered retailer to sell its home improvement service business to Service.com for $60 million. Sears has suffered for years as U.S. consumers increasingly turned their backs on brick-and-mortar stores. But the Hoffman Estates, Illinois-based retail giant, a mainstay of American malls for decades, failed to ride the online shopping trend. On October 15, Sears Holdings filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection, a last-ditch attempt to avoid folding after years of store closures, sales declines and borrowing. At the time of the filing, Sears had just under 700 stores and planned to shut down 142 unprofitable stores. In November, it announced it was closing another 40 stores. Lampert entered the picture, Indiana 2005. The hedge fund investor pushed Kmart, which he'd bought out of bankruptcy 2 years earlier, to acquire Sears for $11 billion, and then merged the two. He later resigned as CEO, but remains chairman, while propping up the company for years with round after round of debt financing. Lampert has faced criticism for lacking a clear-cut turnaround strategy. Bre Payton, a Fox News commentator and writer for The Federalist, has died. The Federalist confirmed Payton's death on Friday, revealing that the 26-year-old grew suddenly ill. Bre Payton, our beloved staff writer for The Federalist, passed away on Friday in San Diego, California, following a sudden illness, the online magazine wrote in a statement published on their website. Politician and friend Morgan Murtaugh revealed on Twitter Friday that she found Payton unconscious and called for help. 24 hours ago, I found my friend unconscious and called 911. She's been in a coma since and really needs a miracle right now. Please, if you're religious at all, send prayers this way. We really need them. Murtaugh later wrote to her followers that Bre has passed. Prior to her death, Payton was battling the flu and possibly meningitis, according to a profile on caringbridge.org. USA Today reported following the news of her death, a number of political figures expressed their sympathy on social media. Ben and I are absolutely gutted and horrified by this news. Our prayers for Bre Payton and her family. We are less vibrant without her in every possible way. A wonderful, fearless, vibrant, intelligent young woman. Sending prayers to all of her family and friends during this darkness. Meghan McCain, who recently lost her father Senator John McCain to cancer in August, tweeted. Fox News host Shannon Bream also spoke out on Payton's death, writing, "I cannot believe this. Bre Payton was such a beautiful light, smart and funny and kind and talented. Please pray for her broken-hearted loved ones who are undoubtedly reeling." She was far too young, Bream added. Payton graduated from Patrick Henry College in 2015 with a degree in journalism. According to The Federalist, she joined the news outlet shortly after and quickly moved up to a political commentator featured on Fox News Channel, Fox Business Channel, and OANN. The young journalist is survived by her parents, George and Cindy Payton, as well as her siblings James, Jack, Christina and Cheeky. 2018 Alamo Bowl. Iowa State coach Matt Campbell earns unsportsmanlike penalty over targeting call. Iowa State saw 2 of its players ejected for targeting in the first half of its appearance in the Alamo Bowl against Washington State on Friday night, and the second one nearly got Cyclones coach Matt Campbell tossed as well. While there was no argument about the first targeting call on Iowa State's Willie Harvey, Campbell didn't agree with the targeting call that saw Alamo Bowl get tossed, and he let the officials know about it. Campbell drew an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty for the tirade, and credit to him for not blowing his top again a minute later. Washington State scored a touchdown a few plays after the penalty to take a 217 lead, and replays showed a Washington State offensive lineman committing a blatant false start on the touchdown that wasn't called. It's been a rough night for the officials overall. They brought a touchdown back on a taunting penalty and missed what appeared to be a clear hold on an Iowa State offensive lineman while in the end zone, which should have resulted in a safety for Washington State. With time running down in the half, Iowa State banged through an Alamo Bowl record 51-yard field goal to cut the lead to 21-10 at the break.
Thanks for watching Robot News. Please subscribe for more news. Robots need more subscribers.